Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of you that are on the panel today for your testimony. We've been in and out of other committee meetings, but I did have the privilege of reading your written testimonies in advance, and I do want to just ask you a couple of questions. You know, for decades, elite universities were protected by the antitrust exemption under the understanding that they were going to provide these need-blind financial aid, which they arguably are not. And so, Mr. Martin, I want to go to you first. In your view, did the exemption do anything meaningful to bring down colleges' cost to make colleges' expense more accessible?
I've not studied that, Congressman, but I'm aware of nothing.
Okay. We really, I think, have seen what 30 years of colluding about the financial aid formulas did to college affordability and accessibility, but the exemption expired in 2022. So my question again, Mr. Martin, would be to you, if we want students to be offered the best college experience at the lowest possible price, should Congress enact another antitrust exemption like Section 568 or force the schools to compete against one another?
As an antitrust lawyer, Congressman, the free market is generally the best tool for solving problems of prices.
Well, and I too, I believe that competition would play a role in bringing down college costs. And we have data from the last 30 years that the antitrust exemption only succeeded in making our elite institutions more elite and further remove the needs of everyday Americans. So thank you for your response. I want to go to Mr. Shieh. And Mr. Shieh, you caused quite a stir with your email to Brown's employees. Your efforts to shine a light on Brown University's excess mirrors our fight in Congress to cut wasteful spending as we're dealing with it day in and day out. Can you, I don't want to give you a chance to explain your motivation for shining a light on what you describe as administrative bloat.
Exactly. Well, I think the root of the problem is that Brown is just so darn unaffordable for students all across the country, and that's why Brown has the richest median income of all the Ivy League schools. Like I said, half of the Brown student body is from the top 5% of Americans, and I just think that's wrong. I think that's morally wrong because the Ivy League is supposed to be a ladder to the American dream, but we're pulling up the ladder so that only rich kids can access it, and I think that's wrong.
And I noticed in your written testimony that you pointed out there's roughly a ratio of 1 administrator for every 2 students. And I got to ask you, is this necessary for Brown students to obtain a degree?
Certainly not. We've seen that in the past. Brown didn't have this ratio, and it has functioned fine for hundreds of years. Across the pond, Oxford and Cambridge don't have that many administrators, and they function fine. Certainly, all these administrators are not necessary.
And I would say, does this number of administrators meaningfully impact the overall experience of Brown students?
Certainly not, and they might even detract from it, because when budget cuts need to be made, the enormous administrative bloat means that, and their unwillingness to reduce it means that the costs have to be cut somewhere else.
Right. So, and which leads you almost answer my other question, is how could cutting some of the bloat benefit the consumer that's looking to come to Brown?
Well, absolutely. Like dorms flood, the food is unappetizingly bad, and the quality just keeps getting worse. Like they're reducing red meat from all the dining halls. They say it's about the environment, but it's really about the cost. And by reducing administrative bloat, we definitely could see some improvements in the student experience.
Thank you. Dr. Cooper, let me ask you, you said in your written testimony that, quote, the surplus revenues that Ivy League institutions enjoy currently fuel administrative bloat, but they could be used to create more seats for qualified applicants. Can you explain the benefits for our entire nation that could come from increased enrollment at these elite institutions?
Absolutely. Right now, if you look at elite institutions graduates, they are vastly overrepresented in the elites of business, politics, and media. And if we were to expand Ivy League undergraduate colleges to more students, that would enable more students to get their foot in the door for this pipeline and enable, a greater diversity of folks in those elite positions. So I would love to see Ivy League institutions use their endowments, use all the money they're currently spending on administration to expand and create opportunity for more of those students.
Well, thank you. And thank you to all of you for shining the light that you're shining today. And Mr. Chairman, with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back without objection. I ask unanimous consent to enter the record the following. A press release from the Department of Justice titled Consent Decree Settles Charge of Conspiracy to Restrain Price Competition on Financial